It's pretty frustrating when you find a Wonderkid that you want in Football Manager, but you can't afford them. Well, hopefully today's video will give you some other options to go for when you're in that situation. I'll be making a Wonderkid team for a combined total of under 15 million. We've got players of different ability levels and price points, and I've made sure that all the players on this list are players we have not spoke about yet in any kind of video on the channel. Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT, and as mentioned, we've got a team of players today that you can sign for under £15 million, give or take. Some of these values are going to be slightly different in your save, as will the player abilities, but all of these guys have the potential to be Wonderkids in your save, so scout them, see if they're worth signing, and then give them a go. I'm not using a goalkeeper in this team, else it doesn't actually class as being under 15 mil, but just to give you a cheap goalkeeping option, Alejandro Iturbe of Atletico Madrid is a very good player at 18, who can be picked up for under £2 million. Into the players that actually make my team now though, and I have a 17-year-old German centre-back playing for 1816 München out in the 3rd division of Germany. His name is Leandro Morgala and he's capped at under 18 level already, able to play centre-back or right-back, but I think centre-back's probably going to be his best position. In my save, he's actually down as a model citizen personality, which is the best you can get. So if he's got that in your save, that's a very good sign. Physicals, nicely well-rounded, as are his mentals, with good determination, and then good technicals as well. He can pass well, he can defend well, he can mark, he can tackle, he can head the ball, and he is just a very well-rounded centre-back at the age of 17, available for a very, very cheap amount. Another good young centre-back that we've not covered on the channel yet is Adam Nagalo of FC Nordsjælland out in the Danish divisions. He's a Burkina Faso national who can play loads of positions, but ideally will be a centre-back for you. Another one whose attributes are very well-rounded, 6'1", very nice physicals, mentals are at a really high level actually, and his technicals look good as well. At the age of 19, less room to grow than the last player we looked at. His concentration and decision-making aren't the best, but over time you can definitely sort that out and make him a player worth that initial investment of a couple £1 million. Before we go into player number 3, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you do enjoy as we get close to 150k subscribers, and you can also find my channel in the description down below. We've got a Leicester save going on currently. I know I always talk about it, but a lot of you guys have came over to watch the series and said you've really enjoyed it. You were surprised by how much you did so. We're on something like 9,850 subscribers at this point, so we're really close to that final target of 10k. So if you can help me out towards that, that would be awesome. But let's get into player number 3. And that is going to be a Norwegian fullback playing for Molde, and his name is Anders Borset. Now, he's one where he's not as well-rounded as the others, but he's only 16, so he's got a lot of room left to get better. A perfectionist with 16 determination. Physicals that will grow over time, but there's nothing lacking too much there. Mentals nicely well-rounded, but will need some work. And his technicals are probably the weakest side of his game, but over time you can certainly improve them. He might actually be better off at centre-back. I'd argue that is likely going to be his best place, but we needed a left-back in this video. He's natural there, so we're choosing him in that spot. One of the most complete players in this list is Mexican 20-year-old right-back / centre-back Emilio Lara, who plays for Club America in the Mexican divisions. Now, I would opt towards using him at fullback because of his height, but if you're not bothered by that stuff, feel free not to, but he hasn't got jumping reach to make up for his small stature, so I'm going to use him at right back here. Well-rounded attributes all around, and at the age of 20 he's further along in his development than some, but those mentals especially are very impressive with great marking. He could do a very good job as a more defensive-minded fullback. Maybe whilst your left back bombs on, he can sit back and hold that position on the right. In the centre of midfield, we start off with a Spanish national by the name of Franco from Real Zaragoza. Now, if you're looking at all their prices and thinking, Jake, this is over £15 million, is it not? What I'm doing is I'm taking the middle value here, so if it's 375k to 3.6 million, we're going for about £2 million-ish would be his valuation. You guys could probably negotiate it even lower, so let's not get too pedantic about the values. I'm just trying to give you a team that fits roughly into that under £15 million bracket. I've tried to avoid the bottom tier Wonderkids and get players that could contribute to a lot of sides, and Franco could certainly do that. He plays in the 2nd division of Spain, and he's very well rounded, as many of these players have been so far. It looks like he's more of a ball winner and less of a playmaker, so if you're looking for that kind of player, he could be a great choice. A release clause in this save of £2.5 million. It may be different in yours, but if it's not, could be worth a go. Philip Ronningen Jorgensen, a Norwegian 20-year-old playing for Odds in the first division of Norway, looks like a top draw player, wanted at the start of this save by Juventus, already an important player for them at the age of 20. A very good passer of a ball, it says deep line playmaker, and I could kind of see that as his best role. The fact that Juve are interested though shows that he certainly has some talent there, and he could be worth an investment of around £2 million to bring him to your side. My favourite choice on this list though is left-sided player Daniel Ruiz of Millonarios in the Colombian divisions. He can play all along those midfield frontline positions, on the left, on the right, or through the middle, and I think he'd do all of them very well. Those technical attributes are very, very impressive for a player who can be picked up for about £1 million. He can finish, he can dribble, he can cross, he can pass, he's got all of that in his locker. Great technique, great mentals, and very quick, agile and strong. He's not lacking in any area at all, and is maybe one of the better options on this list, and he's actually not too expensive either. The cheapest player on this list though is 16-year-old German, under 17, internationally capped Maurice Kratenmacher of Unterhaching. They're a team in the lower levels of Germany, and he looks like a nice player to be able to pick up for about £100,000 at the age of 16. We can actually approach to sign him here, but it looks like he doesn't want to leave, and that may be the case for some players in this list, that they don't want to join you straight away. Often these young players, it might be hard to sign them, but they're definitely worth scouting and keeping an eye on, and those ones that are more 20 odd years old should be a little easier to pick up. But this guy, good dribbling, finishing and first touch, you could actually make him a decent advance forward over time. He's certainly more potential than he is current talent, but he's got a lot of room left to grow and is certainly going to be worth that money that you pay for him, either by making it in your team or selling him on for a massive profit. Two players left to go in the list now, and we have a 20-year-old Bulgarian attacking midfielder by the name of Filip Krastev. He's currently playing for a club called Levski Sofia, but he is on loan from a club called Lomel. Krastev is an extremely good player, particularly in those technical attributes. A very good passer, 14 passing vision and technique, a good dribbler as well, good on set pieces, 14 free kicks, 14 corners, well-rounded physically and very good mentally. If we're using the English divisions as an example, I think he'd do a great job at a high-level championship team, and within time will be a Premier League player, because these attributes look very, very good, and he can still get a lot better yet. Already capped for Bulgaria 4 times, he's got a bright future, and someone that I think would be a great signing for your teams, but you might just have to wait for that initial loan period to be complete. And finally, we finish off with our striker, who is a Thailand international by the name of Suphanat Muenta, who has been around in FM for a couple of years now and is still one of the best bargain strikers you can get. Available for about £1 million. He is a regular starter for Buriram United out in Thailand, and he's very well rounded if we took him as an advanced forward, because you can see those technical attributes are all very good minus his passing, his physicals are all very good other than his balance, and his mentals are very well rounded. You wouldn't think you could get a player like this for £1 million, but you can. He could play at a pretty decent level straight away, and I'm surprised that he isn't being snapped up already by some clubs, because I do think he has the potential to be a phenomenal striker in your saves, and for that cheap, you cannot go wrong. But that is our team of Wonderkids you can sign for around under £15 million, all new names, just to give you guys some more ideas of who you might be able to sign. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Let me know who your favourite cheap Wonderkid is in the comments below. Check out my channel in the description as well, but most of all, have a great day everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.